Don't miss me, don't. So you gave it your all, still fell apart.
The found footage zombie film Diary of the Dead is a movie that has a laundry list of problems that keeps it being too interesting. Is this one of the worst zombie films I've seen? No, I've seen worse than this, but this one is not that great at all. With this being the fifth installment in the Night of the Living Dead series, the late George A. Romero thought he'd do something differently, hence why this movie was found footage, which was popular back in the late 2000s. So the story of this one is that a group of young college students must survive for their life when they encounter zombies while making a horror film of their own. You know, to be honest, I have checked this one out quite a few times throughout the years. I always thought this film was alright. I didn't really think it was horrible, but the story does have some issues. Before we learn about these characters, the zombie apocalypse immediately happens. We get no exposition. We don't get to know who these characters really are. And to me, I feel like it was a missed opportunity. Like, the lack of character development really does hurt this one. And because of that, you don't really care about the characters in this movie. And just like the zombies in this film, this one moves very slowly. The story in this movie really is not interesting. And sure, there is some conflict between these survivors and the zombies, but it's something that's been done better in other zombie movies. Nonetheless though, this film is done with poor execution, not enough exposition, and quite frankly, there are better found footage movies out there. You know, I get why George A. Romero chose the found footage style. Like I said before, it was popular during the late 2000s. But when it comes to the characters in this movie, they're lacking. The closest who could got some character development, and I mean like a large part of it, is Professor Maxwell. He did talk about being in a war in the film at one point in the movie, but other than that, they really don't do anything with his character. You know, he's just traveling with these other college students. So speaking of which, Deborah Monahan, you know, the actress, Michelle Morgan, I think she did a alright job. No one's really a standout when it comes to her acting. I've seen worse at acting in older horror films over the years. But when it comes down to it, you know, she's trying to travel to get to her parents' house, see if they're alright. And who's accompanying her? Her boyfriend, Jason Creed, who's actually documenting all this stuff that's going on. You know, he's asking people what they think about, you know, zombies. And it's a concept that could have been explored further. It's just they don't do nothing with it. We see them travel to her house, Deborah's house that is. And then we see them travel somewhere else. It's like, you know, we've seen this before in other zombie movies, done better. I don't completely despise this film. I just really think that this movie could have been something interesting. But when it comes down to it, the other characters in this movie, such as Tracy or Tony, well, they don't add much to it. What can I say? This movie is a mixed bag. What was interesting is that the political things presented in it were interesting during the time when this movie had came out. Now, honestly, this movie could have been great if they did things a little bit, you know, better. Lack of character development and lack of exposition really hurts this movie in the long run. If you somehow never seen this, you can check it out, but don't expect a whole lot from this one. I'm giving this film a 6 out of 10. This one wasn't a complete bore fest, and yes, the characters could have been written better in my opinion, but at least the characters don't make asinine decisions and they're not complete idiots either. And I do give credit to the late George A. Romero for making this movie. It wasn't a complete success, but it certainly was a different style compared to other zombie movies from the past. Nonetheless, this is certainly one of the weaker films from the Night of the Living Dead series, and quite frankly, this one is pretty forgivable when you really think about it. And that's my review of the 2007 film, Diary of the Dead. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie. Alright, this is Slum Guy 172 saying peace out.